Hello, this is my first YouTube video. Hopefully this helps you out. I'm going to show you the build a 378 classic 379 Peterbilt. It's basically the same design. Um, it's from our Tallery. I personally think they build the better line of model truck kits. This is just to help people out there, or modelers out there who are trying to do a semi. It's not exactly easy. As a matter of fact, it can be very frustrating. Um, what you really need to do is kind of build the whole thing, temporarily build the whole thing at once, which kind of helps. Uh, Basically, the number one thing is the chassis, the frame. As you can tell, the tires aren't even connected. So our Tallery comes in flat black already, the frame. So this is probably the most important part of the entire model. I know if you're building car models, you do the body, you do the chassis, you click them together, and you're done. I mean, they'll all line up together. These things do not line up, period. So this might help you out a little bit. What I usually do is you got to scratch all the cross members. Um, this glue, wherever it is. Oh, plastic weld. I actually love using this stuff. It works the best, I think. You line up all the cross members. These little mini cabinet clamps, I don't know what you would call them, Harbor Freight has them. You can just put the lightest touch on them and just clamp it all together. And with a Tallery, it's nice because all the notches are there for you. Their instructions are really good, really nice. And basically, it's about 24 hours. You need to clamp them all together. If you don't scratch the plastic so that the cement can actually bond into these things, 8 months, 6 months later, or even while you're building it, these things will just pop apart. There's going to be a lot of weight, a lot of pulling, and a lot of stretching you're going to be doing to this thing. This thing is extremely long. Maybe guys out there who built dragsters know I built a couple dragsters in my life when I was younger, and it's just it's got to flex a little bit. But with all of these put together, it's pretty good. To save a little bit of time or frustration, what I normally do is, if this was, your other model kits might be flat white or white, so you got to paint it all. I would actually build the whole suspension and then paint it, only because these are basically the backbone of the entire kit. And so we've done all that. Taller's good. These are your cab mounts, so they're pretty much in line where they should be. This one does have turning wheels on it. It comes with it. It's a very delicate system. I didn't cook the tie rod up between them yet because that's even more delicate. So until this thing's almost done, I'm not going to connect it. But the wheels do actually turn. And the thing is, on one of these, it's good to just sit, read these things, take it to the bathroom, read the directions, while you're doing nothing, take it to work with you or something like that, and just read all the instructions. Because what they're going to tell you to do is build this, and then kind of pre-did this. Then after everything is in, you go to put the cab on, and you find out that the gas tank isn't lined up, or the fifth wheel plate is too far forward, or the hood won't line up now. So I mean, it's kind of this is where it gets frustrating. This is where this video might be able to help you guys out a little bit. So this was a 5-piece cab. Most of them come pre-done like this. This one's my Tallery. It's very detailed when it's done. Basically, you shoot it with some primer. You can use Elmer glue, or me, I just use masking tape, blue tape, painter's tape, something that doesn't really stick that good, that you can just peel right off again. So from reading the directions ahead of time, that's the cab mount to the floor, so that's where that locks into. This is going to be your focal point. So if you put that on there, lock it in, and then on this one, I already hard glued the pins in. So, and here's your front bumper. If you did this per the directions, you would get to this point, and most likely a lot of stuff isn't going to line up totally. The bumper might be crooked, the hood might not close all the way. You might have to display the model with the hood open. I've done that a few times because it's just not going to close up, and you're not going to get an even line where the hood closes into that. I've been driving these things for 30 years. Trust me, after 3 years, the hood doesn't line up anyway, but that's a different story. So basically, maybe this weekend I'm thinking about, I'll put the pins in. Whenever you're dealing with stuff like this and the steering, it's always good to just take WD-40, put it on a Q-tip, and just put just a smidge on the joints, because they're made of plastic. And these are plastic pins. I might put them in with aluminum rod. 1/32 is the minimum. After that, I love the aluminum rods because they're easy to cut, they're easy to bend. They don't. I try using steel rods, and you cut them, and then you got to chase around the living room forever, figure out where the hell the other end went to. But the plastic ones work good. That comes with this kit. I'm going to put a little WD-40 on them, stick them in there, because when I glue them to the hood, I don't need overnight to find out the glue actually touched it, and then you're stuck because now you got to cut the thing apart or whatever. But the best thing for doing all this stuff together, and Elmer's glue. It dries clear. It won't stick to it won't adhere to the plastic permanently. When you're all over and done with it, if you don't have any tape or something like that, or you're looking for a good hit, you glue some stuff together. If you want to do a custom visor on this thing, you can just Elmer's glue it, see if it looks good, see if that's what you want to look at, and when it's all over and done with, pop it off, take everything in the kitchen sink, brush it off with a toothbrush, and everything's back to normal. This one's going to have a ton of stuff, so instruction 9 was like to hang all the air tanks, the fuel tanks, the batteries, and everything else, but you could do all that without, and then it'll tell you on page like 12 to start building the cab and put the cab on top. It's not, it's going to be a pain in the ass when you're done with the whole thing. So, especially on different kits, not to name drop, but maybe Revell or AMT, they build some really cool trucks too, but if you're not familiar with 18-wheelers, and if you're not familiar with building 18-wheeler kits, it can get frustrating because it's going to tell you to put this kind of guesstimate here. You can see there's a bunch of holes. These are all lined up holes for that. You got a lot of tires here, so while stuff is drying or stuff like that, basically I take my tires and I just paint them with acrylic black, just flat out right out of the can from Testors or Tamiya, just acrylic. Just water it down maybe a little bit and just flood all the treads with them. It's going to look like it's going to be a joke when you're done with it if you want the truck to look kind of decent, because the tires are going to be really shiny. So basically do all that. When you're done, you just take and run a file on, flat file, whatever, and you just scuff up the treads a little bit. That way it still stays dark in the middle, and when you're done scuffing them up, you do a wash with the rims. I guess to me it came out with this panel line accent color. I guess it's called that. It's not bad stuff. I had to use goof off, which I've never used before, to get the extra stuff off. Normally I'll take a little flat black and a little paint thinner and a big brush, and basically, if I can take this off, you can see it. You basically just do a wash on the wheels inside the rims, and you know, you just take a Q-tip, spin the Q-tip around in it, and you just keep turning it and turning it until you polish them up. No matter how polished I get my rims, you're never going to get them perfectly clean unless the truck just came off the dealership. So same with the mud guards. To me, his kit's pretty good. They have a spot for the mud guard, which sits in there even without glue. So that's pretty cool. I could pull that right back out. So kind of going ahead of myself a little bit.